So let's go to Fernando. He is on line 4.
Hey, how you doing?
We're good. What's up, man?
Not much. I just wanted to call in. I think of the Bible, I'm an atheist, by the way, but I think of the Bible as, let's take, in 2,000 years, if there was no pictures or TV or anything like that, and we took the stories from, like, our movies and our comics and just had them all written down, people may believe that there was a guy who used to spin webs and fly around the city, or, you know, a guy who dressed up as a bat, and they would probably say, yeah, there's plenty of eyewitness testimony to it. And I just, you know, I think about it like that, you know?
Well, yeah, there is a similarity there, isn't it? I mean, when you hear Christians say, well, you know, well, there are 500 eyewitnesses to with the loaves and fishes thing, it's like, well, where are they? Well, they're in the Bible. See, it's right here in the same text. It'd be nice to hear some of their own actual accounts, but curiously, those don't exist. You could say exactly the same thing about a Spider-Man comic, right? I mean, there's Spider-Man swinging over Times Square on his web, and look at all the eyewitnesses drawn there at the bottom of the panel. Can't you see them? So obviously, there is, you know, this is a supported account of an actual historical event in New York City. I don't know. I'd like to think that the future will be full of slightly more rational, secular archaeologists who won't be quite that dumb, but who knows? I mean, who might be out there? Along the same lines of what you're getting at, though, I mean, there's we used to do a gaming night kind of regularly, and there's a really wonderful board game we used to play involving ancient Egyptian gods. And you know, just fascinating to me how these gods were worshipped for much, much longer than the Christian God has even been known, right? I think 4,500 years,
right.
5,000 years for some of the Egyptian pantheon. Very devoutly worshipped. These were quite serious beliefs. And now they're characters in a board game.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And so, you know, in the year 5000, will people be sitting around playing Jesus board games, or whatever the far future equivalent is, where, you know, Yahweh is, you know, doing whatever, you know, you got to do whatever you have to do to score the points, and then maybe you get to be super Jesus when you get to so many points or whatever. Yeah, you know, so ultimately I think it will come around that way. Yeah, why not? I mean, why wouldn't it?
Right. Just one quick thing, and then I'm going to hang up and let you guys get to the next caller.
All right.
I stopped believing in Santa at a very young age. It did not mean that something happened to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would hope that's true.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks a lot for calling. It's fun.
I had a bad experience with a Santa, and after that.
Oh, let's not even go there. You know, I'm going to just mention this real quick before we take our last guy. Santa is my earliest memory of being a boy skeptic, of being Martin Wagner boy skeptic.
I just remember crying. I got put on Santa's lap and just melted into bawling. I was like, who is this strange man and why am I sitting on his lap? And this is so creepy.
Well, you know, and you still sit on strange men's laps and cry.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just a thing. You got to stop that.
I know.
But I remember being at a department store Santa, and I asked him about his sleigh and his reindeer. And I said, where are they? And, you know, especially because I thought, especially Rudolph was awesome because, you know, he like beat the bullies and everything.
Underneath the reindeer, yeah, sure.
And so he said, well, it's up on the roof of the store. And I was like, okay, Mom and Dad, we're going to the roof of the frickin' store.
Yeah.
And they humored me a little bit, like we took the elevator up to the top floor and there was like, well, I guess there's no real way to get up onto the roof from here, so let's go. But I insisted on seeing the sleigh and the reindeer.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't going to take him at his word. So there you go. That was my first skeptical adventure.
There you go, yeah.
And it led to me being here. How do you know?